Okay, welcome. Today's topic of discussion is going to be about the canonicity of certain parts of the Persona series, like the games, novels, and mobile games. They're very obscure. They were only released in Japan, so it would make sense if any of you have even heard of the games, because Jesus fuck, I didn't even know about most of these until just recently. Most of the games are canon, just a couple that aren't canon because of weird continuity things or just developers coming out and saying aren't canon. To start off with, the most well-known non-canon games are the Persona 3 and Persona 5 dancing games because, well, developers came out and said, yeah, they're not canon. And after that, it is the US version of Persona 1. Need I say more? And then, the most surprising one when I was going through all this and combing through research and stuff, and looking at the story, seeing if any of these conflict with anything, is Persona 4. Not Persona 4 Golden, just Persona 4. Because Mary's existence completely removes that game off the timeline, because if you don't save her, everyone loses their memory of her, which is not the true ending, as confirmed by Persona Arena. So great, Persona 4 is technically not canon, though I think you should play it, it's just an amazing game. Now we move on to the ones that are in a weird place, you could consider them canon, or you couldn't. To start off with, it is probably the reason I actually wanted to make this video was the weird situation with Persona 5 Royale and Persona 5 Strikers. And the reason they're in such a weird limbo place is because of the development timeline. Because Strikers was developed before Royale, but Royale came out before Strikers. So it puts it in a weird place where the writers, I don't think, were exchanging notes or anything, so there wasn't any confirmation of Sumeri's existence or Ryuji moving away, none of that. Which I do think kind of sucks, but if I were to say the one that's most likely to be canon, it's Royale. Royale, the re-releases of the games have been the interpretation developers want players to have. But Strikers could be a situation where it's the direct sequel, like Persona 4 Arena, but I don't know. It's very weird, and I really hope this gets sorted out soon, because I'm a huge lore buff. Anytime I like a game, I look into the lore, and in this situation I was like, what the hell? And prompted me to make this video because I was just interested in making it, and I thought everyone else might be interested. But I do think Persona 5 Royale is the most likely candidate to be canon, and maybe Strikers might be retconned, or I mean, it couldn't. It could just be oh yeah, the Phantom Thieves just never mentioned Sumire or Ryuji moving or anything of the sorts, which is weird, but it could fit in without any issues. It's just, why don't you guys mention these characters or these events or Ryuji moving? It's just weird. Now moving on to Persona Q2, because while researching for this video, I found that Persona Q is canon. That one there's multiple statements saying, oh yeah, it's canon, everyone just loses their memory, which, if you don't consider it canon for that reason, you're fucking stupid. Because it's okay, why wouldn't you consider it canon? Just because everyone lost their memory? That doesn't exclude it off being canon. That just means certain parts of it. Because, okay, in a weird way, you could say the same thing about Persona 4. But the reason why Persona 4 is just not canon is because Marie's disappearance is completely altered. It just didn't happen. Any events involving her just didn't happen. But they did, as explained through Persona 4 Arena, showing us she is in existence in the game, like Adachi and Margaret. But with Persona Q2, they just lost their memories, except Makoto Yuki. I wasn't sure if that was Persona Q or Q2, where he keeps it. He doesn't keep his memories, but Elizabeth tells him about the events, which is, in hindsight, very weird. And the way they were structuring how they were going to release him from his internal imprisonment was by changing the hearts of the public on not wanting to die. So if the Phantom Thieves save him, I'm not sure if he will remember all of those events, or will he just say, hey, that's from when we were cute and chibi for some reason, and we were fighting together? I don't know. That's an entire situation for a different video on explaining the timeline of events, and trying to figure out, oh, this could actually be canon, it's just no one's come out and say it's canon, because it's in a weird, dubious place. Persona Q2, I would like to say it's canon, Theodore's canon, so, of course, Femc would be canon. But I think those are the only games that are, non-canon or in a weird place, because the majority of them do just fit into the timeline pretty well without any issues. Because the way it is that there's two timelines, two, well, confirmed timelines. The timeline that splits off from Innocent Sin and the timeline that picks off Eternal Punishment, which is weird. And there could be multiple other timelines, like the FemC timeline, or the timeline where Theodore fucking left FemC's world to get destroyed, because technically he's also supposed to be fighting that weird god thing, or it might just work for every time. I don't know. It's just weird. But I do think that's the current state with the games alone. Like, just leaving them alone, I think that's it with the games. Moving on to the novels. I feel like some of the community knows about the novels. Not a lot of it, but like, there have been a lot of novels that have been thrown out there that exist, and for these next two ones, like the mobile games and novels, I'm going to switch up the order and go non-canon, weird places, and canon, unlike the games, because it's a lot shorter of a list going downwards. To start off with, the non-canon ones are Persona 3 Portable Velvet Blue, which is about Elizabeth and Theodore's relationship with FemC, and FemC's canonicity is very questionable, and you can only have one attendant at a time, so I just threw it in non-canon because you can only have one attendant. Persona 4 Kiri no Amnesia is about Yukiko, Yusuke, and Chie entering the TV world without Narukami. But the weirdest thing I found about when reading the plot synopsis is that Teddy is not in there. And it was outright confirmed by Teddy that if you do not enter the TV world around him, you cannot exit. There is no other person we know of that can exit the TV world without the help of Teddy. But yeah, without Teddy, none of them could exit. So how did they exit? There was nothing said in the plot synopsis, so I just automatically put it in the non-canon because that just contradicts any statements we've heard in the past about anything. Next is Persona X Detective Naoto. Yeah, that one's just not canon. It was supposed to be canon to the original Persona 4 because I think it released a year before Persona 4 Golden. But I think it released like 1 or 2 years after Persona 4 Arena. So either way, it wouldn't have fit in because Naoto just didn't have any knowledge about the shadow organization that Mitsuru started up. So it's just, okay. And one of the protagonists is a robot like Aegis or Lavras. And she has no clue on who the fuck this person is and what the fuck is he about. It just wouldn't make any sense that she wouldn't know anything about him, even though she has met 2 people similar to him. So yeah, it's just due to the events of Persona 4 Arena, I think it's just completely not canon, and also it's supposed to be canon to the original Persona 4, which is, I said not canon because of the existence of a Marie. So yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I researched it, I looked at an article stating it was canon, and since it was using some similar writers from the manga and stuff, I translated it. It was weird, but I think it just isn't because there were statements saying, oh, it was a sequel to the original Persona 4, so yeah. Next up, moving on to the ones that are in a weird place where they can be canon, but there's certain parts of it where it's like, ooh, I don't think it can be canon because of this. First, Persona 3 Owari no Kakara. The existence of some upperclassmen that liked Akihiko and also joined Cease. There was no mention of that. The only thing we saw that the plot synopsis told us was, oh yeah, we also get to see like the relationship between Shinjiro, Akihiko, and Mitsuru before the protagonist arrived. And if the upperclassman was there, they would have had enough members for Tartarus. So it's weird. It could be canon, but I'm gonna go towards it's not canon, but you can maybe make an argument for it being canon, but I don't know. Next up, Persona 3 Shadowcry. We know next to nothing about this. We have the first chapter. Okay, let me preface this. We know next to nothing about most of these novels. We just have a synopsis for most of them, and that's about it. Like just a plot summary. But for this one, I found it to be interesting, and it could be canon, because we don't know how Shinjiro got to meet Strega. Yes, Shinjiro knew that Jin was very popular on the internet. He knew that, like, okay, there's this group going around. But how did he know, like, oh, you guys are also Persona users, and you guys also have, like, yeah, it's a weird situation where it's like, how the fuck did you guys know this? You could also say, oh, is it Kutsuki that told them? But they never met a Kutsuki, so it's like, okay, so they broke out. It's a weird situation where I'm going to say it's more towards the canon side, so since it explains how Shinjiro met Strega. So yeah, I'm going to put this one more in the canon side, still in the weird place. Next one, this is the only canon one because I literally found nothing that can conflict with this, since it's literally just side stories. It's just Persona 4, Your Affection. It's just side stories about what characters do when they're not interacting with you in our comic. And yeah, I think that's really about it with the novel. The novels are weird because they've never released to the West, and a lot of them are just game novelizations. Like, I think there's a novelization for Persona 3, Persona 2, I think Persona 1. I'm not sure about Persona 4, but there's novelizations about those games, so I just automatically wrote them off because there's no reason for me to put them in there. They're just retellings of the stories like the manga and like the anime. If you guys can find anything more about this, I would be highly interested to look into it. Like, if you guys could find like a fully translated copies of these novels, I might pick them up and read them and see like, oh, okay, this doesn't conflict with that, but it conflicts with this. I might look into it. But for now, literally only one of them has like a chapter translated, so it's weird. I think the Naruto one is fully translated, but just outright from the plot summary, you can tell that is not canon. But if you find anything about them that could be helpful to like seeing, oh, is this canon, not canon, does this add to the story, or does this conflict with the story, tell me. I might look into it if you want me to like check it out. I don't know. I'm just making YouTube videos for fun, so yeah. Next, moving up to like, I think more obscure than the novels, the mobile games, since they were only released on mobile phones in Japan. So I'm gonna throw up a list right now of a bunch of Persona mobile games that aren't canon, because a majority of these are just retellings of certain story parts of the games, or just weird little minigame type games, or something weird was Persona 3 Social, and what was the other one? Persona Mobile Online. These two are weird. I'm not sure what the fuck these two are about. I found an article about Social saying like, oh yeah, this is releasing on Japan's mobile services. And online, I don't know. It's supposed to be an MMORPG or something. It's weird. I don't think they fit in anything anywhere in the Persona timeline. I'll go quickly going down through these real quick just to like tell you, oh, okay, what's this about, and real quick why won't it fit. Persona OA, it's just an app to accompany the Persona 5 animation. Persona 3 Social, a weird, I'm not sure, it's supposed to be a weird game where you can collect personas. I don't know. Persona 4 Colors, I'm pretty sure that's another one of the minigame ones. Persona Mobile Online, as I said, it was an MMORPG. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Persona 3 Elusive Puzzle, another minigame type game. Persona 3 Escape, a retelling of the Love Hotel dungeon in Persona 3. Persona 3 Broken Shadow, it's supposed to be you taking place in the shape of a shadow and exploring Tartarus. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but yeah. Moving on to the games in a weird place. Persona 3 EM could be a Persona Q situation. To explain, Persona 3 EM is a game that takes place during the beach section of Persona 3 Fest, in which there's a dungeon. Thinking about it more now, I'm gonna put this in the non-canon section, because I don't know why I just didn't put it at first, but I thought it was gonna be like a Persona Q situation where everyone just forgets it at the end. But no, like, it doesn't make any sense. Pharaohs can only be in the night hour. He cannot appear in nighttime or daytime. No, he cannot. He is literally supposed to only appear during the dark hour. Moving on, Persona 2 Batsu Infinity Mask. It's a sequel to Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, but there's literally next to nothing I could find about it, so it could be canon, I don't know, but there's certain things about, like, the bad guy from Persona 2, since I can't say his name for some reason. For some reason, his abilities are still working, even though he is supposed to be dead, so I'm gonna assume it might just go into the non-canon section. Now moving on to the, I would say, definitively canon mobile games are I Guess First Mission, which is a precursor to, I think, a majority of the Persona timeline. No, it takes place 3 years after Persona 1, in which I Guess is in the same beach as Persona 3 Fest, and meets people there, and there's a mission there. I don't know. I just read a plot summary. Thinking back to it now in that Persona 3 EM section, is that I'm looking through the wiki, Ikutsuki got a bit too excited about I Guess being in a school swimsuit. You know, no kink shame, that's a robot, and that's a school swimsuit. Is I Guess of legal age? But that one could be canon, perfectly fine. I don't think it conflicts with anything. There's such a large time gap as well that, like, not much could conflict with it, so I think it's perfectly fine with considering that one canon. Next, Persona 2 Sumi Lost Memory. This one is outright canon, I'm pretty sure, because it is, the wiki page said, oh, it it bridges between why Tatsuya kept his memories in Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. I mean, that's like the only thing I really can say about it. I didn't play it. I read about the synopsis. It's about the Persona 2 cast fighting their shadows, and Tatsuya loses to his shadow. That's why he keeps his memories. Everyone else beats their shadows, and they lost their memories, and yada yada. I haven't played Persona 2 yet. I'd love to get around to it. But if you know about any other mobile games that are out there, or any other novels that I just weren't in the wiki, or when I searched up there weren't any I could find, feel free to tell me in the comments below. I'd love to like see if there are any other ones that might fit into Persona canon. The reason I'm doing this is because I hope in the future I'll make like a large Persona timeline video, which, thinking about it, probably isn't going to be that long, but I think I'd love to get into the events of each game to explain like maybe this, like these themes impacted to this and yada yada. Just have fun with it. Like, I just want to make a 1 hour long like Persona timeline video one day. Saying this now I think is a bad idea, because then like hearing about how the YouTube comment section holds everything over you, I don't care. If I get around to it, I'll do it. If I have like the money for it, I'll do it, because I'd love to have like a green screen and shit and like flashy editing for it. So yeah, and I love to play all the other Persona games, so like I still need to get to Q, 2, 1, Dancing for, I think those are the only ones that are canon actually that I haven't played yet. Before you haggle me in the comment section, take all of this with a grain of salt. I don't know if like one day the Atlas developers might come out and say like, oh yeah, the mobile games and novels are not canon to anything in the games, which is perfectly fine. It's just, I've looked into it. There are some statements that say some of the novels are canon, like the Naruto one was originally meant to be canon, but that one like contradicts with Persona 4 Golden and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. But it's perfectly fine if they aren't canon. If you feel like, oh, these are different mediums, so they shouldn't be canon, perfectly fine. I just want to make this video to like, hey, I was very confused about this when looking into it at first, but it's pretty simple, and I hope you enjoy it. So, moving on to the outro. Alright, thank you for watching. If you even watched I don't know, this is like my 4th video, I think. After this video, it should be the on video, and then after that, I don't know. But I do hope you look forward to that video. But yeah, after the on video, I really don't know what I'm going to do next. But as long as you guys are liking it, I'm going to continue doing it. I'm going to continue doing this even if no one's watching. But yeah. If you like the video, please leave a like. And please subscribe, please comment if you have anything to say. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. What should I say as an outro? Hope you guys enjoy Cantaloupe.